All right, we live, we live,
We live.
we live. Come on in, y'all. We gonna get into this. Candace Owens went live on her YouTube channel, basically breaking down the truth about what happened to Charlie Kirk, because she got some back um behind the scenes information from Charlie. You know what I mean? A text message and the things that took place leading up to his death. So we're gonna get into her reaction, and we also got some videos lined up. Um, suspicious videos. And also, we got, interviews from the FBI and all that. So we're gonna get into all that. We need y'all to come in. Come on, get into it. We're gonna get into this, man. Come on in, y'all.
Let's
Come on
get it.
in. Let's get it. Come
Make
on
sure
in.
y'all double tap that screen to like this video,
Double tap
share
the
this
screen.
video.
Mm-hmm.
About to get into this.
Right. All right. I want to start off with this video. So Candace reposted a video on her Twitter, a very suspicious video, which I don't understand why they didn't question this person. So during the time that the moment that he got shot, a lot of footage was released. A lot of cell phone footage was released. So there's footage of this guy running with his shirt off with a handgun in his hand. So the question is, was this guy even questioned? Did the FBI even question this guy? All right, so it says new video emerges of a man in immediate chaos after the assassination appearing to be clutching a handgun. So let's go ahead and get into this video. I'm gonna blow it up for y'all. Let's get into it. I don't want to show.
Nahuli kami yung gunman mga idol.
All right,
Counting or not counting gang violence. Great.
there's a lot of chaos.
The shot right there. Gunshot. Look at him. Oh, he's shot, dude. He's shot.
Right there. So it's a man running with a hand. You know what I mean? So they slowed it down. So that's the thing. When things like this occur, they supposed to question everything. Like the FBI is supposed to investigate, find out who this guy is running with the gun in his hand. So that's what people wanting to know. Has this guy been even questioned or talked to?
I feel like that guy could be just an armed citizen.
Yeah, just armed. That's what I'm thinking. Like an
That
armed
had
citizen.
that heard the
Right.
gunshot. It's a lot of
Yeah.
conservatives out there. They pack they
Facts.
still.
Yep.
And you just see one of your heroes get hit up. You gonna go out. You gonna pull yours
You gonna
out
pull
just in
your
case.
ratchet out.
Yeah,
Right.
just in case if it's just like a shooter that's trying to take a whole bunch of people out.
Facts. Facts. That's true. So that was just something that was lingering around. But let's go ahead and get into Candace Owens. So Candace Owens recently went live on her YouTube channel, and she had 300,000 people watching. And she was saying some things. She was exposing some things, some truth about key people that could be involved. She also said she had got a text message from Charlie right after a meeting he had at a hotel with some billionaires, and things didn't pan out right. Things didn't go well because they basically confronted him about some things he was saying online, and I'm pretty sure it had something to do with Israel. Him mentioning things about Israel, the things he was mentioning about Epstein being part of Mossad, um, saying some heavy duty things about Israel. And you got to remember, these are the very same people that was backing um, Charlie Kirk. So being as though that these people are most likely grooming you to be in a certain position, because to invest millions and millions of dollars in a person, pay for the rhetoric that he was spewing, and then he changed his tune at the end and start talking basically against the very same people that was he was going up against. He has actually got a direct call from Netanyahu himself. So that's obvious, telling you right there that for him to get a direct call from a prime minister of another country like Israel, that means they, you know, even though he wasn't like in any political party, but it's kind of like let's groom this guy to be somebody, basically. So let's go ahead and get into Candace Owens live stream that she just recently did on her YouTube channel. We're gonna kind of like just go through this, commentate and break things down. And we also have video footages of we also have other videos that we're gonna play as well. So
All right, you guys, we're
double tap that screen. Let's get into it.
going to jump right into this with no introduction. There's a
Let me know if y'all
lot
can
that I
hear
would
that.
like to speak with you guys about.
Clear on
Sound
my
good?
end.
Okay.
A lot of lies that are being put out there, narratives that I would say are half truths or just misrepresentations entirely. And I don't really see the reason for that. First and foremost, to let you know, last week was not a dream. Charlie Kirk, my friend, is dead. And he was publicly executed. I want to make that clear. Charlie Kirk was publicly executed before the world. And as we are all searching for answers, the ones that are being supplied to us are not making a lot of sense.
Mhm.
And some people, I would say, are speaking too much, are speaking on behalf of other people. I don't like it. I will say something that I think brought the world a lot of relief, also, sadness. We were grieving with her, was when his wife, Mrs. Erica Kirk, addressed not just the nation, but the entire world. Her words were very powerful. And we just have a very brief portion of her remarks, which you should pursue in their entirety. But here she is.
If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die.
Beautiful, powerful words.
All right, hold on. We just got some breaking news. Let me pull this up real quick. I'm sorry, y'all, because I want to get into this real quick. Let me pull this up. TMZ just released the article on this that the guy had all right, so this is the article TMZ just put out. This is Charlie Kirk murder, accused killer online confession. It was me. All right. So I guess he confessed it in the Discord. It says the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk looks like he confessed to the murder in an online chat, telling folks it was me before surrendering to the police. Tyler Robinson sent a message from his Discord account Thursday stating, "Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at the UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this," according to Washington Post. That's what they basically be claiming. So let me ask you this. So they're claiming that he made this message, but he's not cooperating with the FBI. So you mean to tell me he confessed in a Discord chat, but they reported that he's not cooperating with the FBI? I truly really don't believe this is the shooter. I believe he's a patsy, a person that was put in position to basically take the fall, because we all seen the footage of him running from the roof with the gun in his without the gun in his hand, with just a hoodie and a backpack. And you got to ask the question, where's the footage of him getting up on the roof? They got the footage of him running off the roof, but where is the footage of him going to the roof? That would make, you know what I mean? That's a legit question to ask. If you got the footage of him coming up off the roof, running off the roof, then you should have footage of him going up on the roof.
I hope they don't think people believe that just because it
Right.
was written in the Discord under his name don't mean that he even did it, or if he did write it, don't mean that he actually did it.
Facts.
So this is a propaganda piece. That's what you
I
call a
believe so
propaganda
too.
piece.
Right.
And the man was set up. And it could have been the FBI that wrote that shit in the Discord group. To tell
Facts.
you the
That's
truth,
that's what
because
I'm
it seemed
thinking.
like the people who assassinated him were very powerful, and they probably control our federal government over here.
Right.
If it has anything to do with You know them over there,
The
Israel
small
and
hat.
all them. Yep,
Yeah.
all of them. You know all of them. They control our government. If we
Right.
we know how we know that they control our government, because why we send them so much money?
Facts.
It seems like they kicking up like it's the mafia or
Like
something.
the
Like you gotta
mafia.
kick up
Right.
to the boss,
Right.
and it don't matter which administration is in there. They sending them millions and millions of dollars weekly,
Hmm.
monthly.
Right.
So if they sending all that money over there, then you know they got some pull over
Facts.
here. So that
I
they could
agree.
have got the FBI themselves to go on his Discord and write that shit.
Facts. Let me know if y'all can still hear this.
Nah,
It's not
it's
playing. All right. Let
mm-mm.
me reshare it. That's what I hate about StreamYard in this in the
glitchy,
yeah, it's glitchy as hell.
glitchy as
Let me
hell.
yeah. All right. Let me reshare this, y'all. Cause Candace got some inside, some behind the scenes information on this shit.
On the world
It's
Mhm.
corrupt.
who were
Right.
deeply moved by Charlie Kirk throughout their lives, and
Let
of
me know
course
we
have
good.
been deeply moved
Yep.
with this tragedy and what she is describing there. That fire, a lot of us are feeling it. I am definitely feeling it. I had a very tough weekend. A very tough weekend. I will say this. My entire life, I've not been much of a crier. It is not my choice emotion. I'm not a person who bursts into tears, and some people are like that. This weekend, I didn't just cry. I wept. I wept. I wept for Charlie. Obviously, I didn't make it through the tribute to him on Friday, and for those of you who wanted to see me in a moment of weakness, that was delivered to you. Fair, yeah. I watched my friend get shot in the neck. Yeah, that's what happened. I just want to say that he was publicly executed again before the world. The question is why, right?
Yeah, that's
When
what
you
we
are
all want
in
to
a
know.
state of grief, you go through a lot of emotions, and I'm arriving right now at a lot of anger. The audacity of some people. It has taken much restraint and prayer, and I had to speak with a priest. I had to go to confession. These emotions that I am having, wanting to respond with Charlie in his own words, really. People that are coming forward and saying this is what he thought and this is how he should be remembered. It just feels really inappropriate to me. I didn't
And the
know.
people out there celebrating, y'all pieces of shit too.
Yeah, people that celebrating another man. Yeah, the other
Uh,
person.
Regardless if you believed in his political views or not, he was
Right.
assassinated on television. It's for his kids and wife to see. Y'all
Right.
some pieces of shit.
For people that believe, yeah, that was yeah, celebrating him death his death. Yeah,
Right.
that's
To
crazy.
scroll
Yeah, that's crazy. Facts.
through messages between me and Charlie, regarding which there are a ton of them, and kept going back and watching the many videos of us dancing to the song "Power," and it felt appropriate to reach out to Ye, speaking about things, talking about his mode when he wrote the song. When you wrote the song "Power," why did we have it as our hype song? Because the song is about the ability to find it within yourself to become what you know you are capable of becoming inside of a matrix, when you just realize everything is dishonest, that everything is performative, that people are dishonest, that they are going to try to stop you from being great. In fact, it's the end of the song. The question that he asks at the end of the song, that's the most important. Ye asks, do you have the power to let power go? Do you have the power to say no to power? I told you guys that Charlie was going through a spiritual transformation at the end, and all of the usual suspects were really angry that I hinted towards that. What do you mean? You're not allowed to say that. They were attacking me, trying to make me fearful to speak out and speak about the things that I know. I'm not feeling very fearful right now. I am, like I said, very angry.
Now you gotta think about Betas, though she had 300,000 people tuned into this live stream. Also was the FBI, see, I mean, CIA probably was tuned in as well. Mossad, people from, people was definitely tuned in because for her to have 300,000 people on there and saying they lied about what happened really happened to them, you definitely know they was tuned in. You
I'm
know what
gonna
I'm
be
saying?
honest with you. This organization that they going up against have a global hit squad.
Yeah,
Like, and
right,
I'm telling you right now, they definitely got people in position to be ready to take these individuals out at any given time.
right.
Candace probably got people on her. Ye probably got people on him. Like you gotta understand how serious this is, because these people got so much influence,
Yeah,
and they do anything to stop these people from talking,
right.
even if they have to assassinate you on broad time
Oh, bro,
television.
facts. Dang.
Time for Charlie Kirk, you would have thought they were the best of friends, as close as him and Trump were. But I will say, I don't recall Erica mentioning Bibi Netanyahu in her speech. The way he's presenting it is like he was I mean, this is just the worst loss for him, but I don't think that that is the truth. In fact, I know for a fact that he is misrepresenting some things that happened there towards the end. So let's at first listen to what Bibi Netanyahu, just one day, less than 24 hours after Charlie died, what Bibi Netanyahu had to say on Fox News. Take a listen.
We're just heartbroken. Myself, my wife, my family, my son, actually, on his 2019 visit to Israel, I had lunch with him and his wife, Erica. We're shattered first as human beings, because a great human being has been taken from us. Was an extraordinary friend. He said, he wrote me a letter on May 2nd this year. He said, one of my greatest joys as a Christian is advocating for Israel and forming alliances to defend Judeo-Christian civilization. A few weeks before the tragedy yesterday, I called him and I spoke to him and I said, please come to Israel. I invited him to Israel. And sadly, that visit will not take place. But he was a defender of our common Judeo-Christian civilization. He was unbelievably excited to walk in the footsteps of Jesus here. He valued our bond, the bond between America and Israel. He did so many things to defend free speech. He had his truth. He stood up for it. But he said, you can come and debate me. He invited that debate. He certainly didn't invite the violence, the horrible violence that tried to silence him. And, this is a worldwide problem. The people on the extremes, the Islamists, the radical Islamists, and their union with the ultra progressives, they often speak about human rights. They speak about free speech, but they use violence to try to.
I know he ain't talking. I know he ain't talking about somebody using violence. These niggas wiping out whole countries. They talking
Yo,
about violence.
that's insane. You see how they
Yo,
get on there and how they talk? Like, who
yo,
believes this shit?
right?
Like, that
That
comes out of
Yahoo,
these people's mouth.
that
He's
Yahoo
killing.
full of
How
shit.
many people he killed just since
And
he
bro,
been
he
in
wiped
power?
out. Bro, wiping out whole fucking sections, bro. He wiping out whole sections. He
Killing
talk
men,
about,
women, and
yeah.
children.
He talk about they doing.
Yeah,
What happened
I'm
to
finished
Charlie
with these
Kirk
motherfuckers.
was
These corrupt
somebody
ass.
some of the most with violence, and you over there committing violence as we speak. What are you talking about? That hypocritical shit on this mainstream media be crazy as hell to me, bro. But let's continue. Let's continue.
Take down
Let's
their
hear.
enemy.
Let's hear. I need everybody double tap the screen to like this video as y'all coming in. Let's continue though.
Whether it's President Trump, who's been almost assassinated twice, or they tried to kill me here too, but they got Charlie Kirk, and it's just heartbreaking.
Who is they, BP? Who is they who got Charlie Kirk?
Right.
We don't have to actually speak conspiracies. I'm just wondering, because you said a lot there, but it really sounded like it was about Bibi trying to establish a narrative that we saw reinforced by a lot of people, that, Charlie kind of made it almost sound like he died for Israel. I mean, Trump's account even tweeted out a photo of Charlie and an American flag and also an Israeli flag, a bit of AI used, like this is just who Charlie was. He says Judeo-Christian values. He spoke to him 2 weeks ago. Again, you would think he was busy fighting this 97,000 front war, but no, he's letting you know that he just randomly picks up the phone and calls Charlie Kirk and invites him to Israel.
All right, so let me stop that there, and we're gonna get back to Candace, because I want y'all to see why he was getting summoned by Israel and the people that was backing him, that he started going up against. So let me stop this. Let me reshare this and let y'all hear the things that was being said about the very people. Oh shit, my bad. About the very people that was backing him at first, and then he started questioning them, and that's why he got called to that meeting. So let's get into that. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? All right, hold on, y'all. I'm about to get this video. Let me pull this video up. Oh shoot, where is it at? All right, I think this is one of them right here. I think I got 2 videos to play. All right. All right, so this is a video with him and Megyn Kelly. Now let's listen to what he said closely. Can y'all see the video? We good? All right. Let's play this real quick.
Do you think there's any intel community involvement in this?
I wouldn't be surprised one bit. I am convinced, based on my own sources and my own reporting on this story, he wasn't one of ours.
So he was an American, which leads basically three options: MI6, Saudi, or Mossad.
Yep.
Which one would you choose?
I guess Mossad, given his connection to Ghislaine Maxwell.
So what does that mean?
Well, I mean, it's possible that that's the reason everything's getting buried, that there is some treasure trove and it's getting buried because...
How many people here believe that? Raise your hand. Okay, I'd say about half the hands think that it's being buried because of an Israeli thing.
It could be. I really don't know.
And I have no evidence to suggest that.
No, me neither. I did think it was very odd how, look, half of you raised your hands because you've heard that theory, you've heard it debated, you have questions, but the one time Pam Bondi was asked a question about this at the cabinet meeting on Monday, she was like, and as for whether he was an agent, that I don't know. I haven't looked into that. I'll get back to you. You haven't looked into it? What do you mean? So that was kind of a fishy answer.
And Megan, remember Alexander Acosta in 2007, he said he was told to treat Epstein carefully because he was an intel asset. That was one of Trump's cabinet secretaries who was literally a U.S. attorney 3 hours from here in Florida. He said that himself.
Well, and let me tell you the consequences of that. His subpoena, his search warrant on Jeffrey Epstein's residence was very narrow. It was not the kind of like, let's get everything. Let's see everything inside this guy's, dressers and so on. It was very, very narrowly tailored. And to this day, that's what the FBI is stuck with. So it really is possible that Dan and Cash got in there and, in like a Geraldo and Al Capone's vault situation, opened it up and we're like, oh my gosh, there's nothing in here. Like, we did not find the magic documents or photos or evidence of anything. And why not? I don't know we'll ever know why not. I'm not sure we'll ever know, but...
Do you think there's any intel?
All right, so let me go to the next video. All right. So let me know if y'all can hear this.
Bibi Netanyahu, if he does something I don't like, and if I criticize it, am I like a bad Christian?
Absolutely not.
What I find strange is that we're able to criticize the American government sometimes in the Christian world with more freedom than the Israeli government. To be pro-Israel means you believe in the nation of Israel, not necessarily the government of Israel. When Joe Biden was president, you and I we loved America, but we detested our government. And those two things beautifully coexisted.
Yeah, you never once said, "Hey, I'm out on
America."
On America,
of course it was the opposite.
Exactly.
And what they don't want is they don't want to be called bad Christians if they challenge a foreign government, which is what happens so often. Right. Like, you're a bad Christian if you have a question about a foreign government.
Right.
That creates backlash that I don't think people understand. If Bibi Netanyahu, if he does something I don't like,
he even mentioning his name. That boy got summoned. You know what I mean? So that's another thing. Like, being as though he start changing his tune and talking more about that Epstein shit than anything, is when they put the radar with him. He got on their radar by saying that shit, starting to speak out against that shit. So let's switch back. Let's switch back to Candace Owens real quick. Let me know if y'all can hear this.
Do that. It seems like maybe there's a little more to the story. No, there definitely is a little bit more to the story. First and foremost,
Good on
the letter
sound.
he is holding up, he is severely misrepresented. Those sentences are real, but I am calling upon Bibi Netanyahu, the dear friend to Charlie Kirk, to publish the letter's entire contents. Like, don't start with just 2 sentences. Publish the entire thing. You're holding it. I'm saying you're severely misrepresenting the contents, that in May, Charlie was concerned about Israel and their influence on American politics and how they were pushing things that he felt were in conflict with his beliefs, free speech here in America. Bibi's holding it up like Charlie just in May said, hey, you know what? I just want to write a love letter to Israel. That's how it was presented. Would you guys agree? That's not how it happened. Now, regarding that phone call and that invite, that also needs to be contextualized. And I'm going to do that. First, Skylar, can we bring in a clip of Charlie from a month ago speaking about the kind of pressure that he was under? Because I think that will also help to further contextualize this. Take a listen.
I'm an American citizen. Yes, I want Israel to win. Yes, I'm a Christian. But like some of the mess, and you saw, man, you've seen how I've been treated, Megan, by some, not all, by some.
No, it's very irritating.
It's
been
almost
so
as if
unfair. They were coming after you after Turning Point for, among other things, that you had Dave Smith there. Dave Smith is allowed to criticize Israel. You had both sides. The Israeli side was overrepresented.
Though. No, you're not allowed to. It's even worse than that. Again, I just want to repeat for the 5th time. I love Israel. I want Israel to win. But my moral character is now being put into question, Megan. Not my decisions. Not like, hey, are you doing this? Is it smart or is it dumb? But no, I am a bad person if I do this. And I could go, I mean, you saw it, Megan. It was trending on Twitter, thousands of tweets and text messages. And if I were to be charitable and generous, I will say the people that are attacking me are in a hyper paranoid state because they're at war, and war tends to make things black and white. And you're a hammer looking for a nail. So I'm trying to be charitable, Megan. Literally, I'm trying to cut as much slack as I can, right? Like, okay, what would it be like if all of a sudden I'm starting to see a pattern of behavior similar to what my grandparents saw in 1930s Germany online? How would I behave? So that's like my charitable kind of overcompensation spirit. At the same time, I'm like, but it's not defensible to be dumb, right?
No, it's not defensible to be dumb. And he was under an increasing amount of pressure, not just people telling him, oh, well, I'm upset.
So he basically saying that Israel acting like Hitler and the Nazis. Basically, that's basically what he said. And
We need to put this into perspective for people. Now, let's put this into perspective. The United States, no matter what administration is in office, is sending Israel millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars a month, right? Israel owns Mossad. Mossad owns Epstein. Epstein blackmails people from governments, from Hollywood, whatever. We need to follow the money trail. Right. And then you gotta think about all the bodies that Israel been catching in Palestine, and all those little kids left without parents. What they do with some of them little kids that don't die? Probably got some of them politicians playing with those kids. Probably got it on camera, because Epstein recorded stuff like that, so they can what? Blackmail.
Right.
Put 2 and 2 together. Let's
Not
put
only
2 and
that,
2 together. And they love extracting kids from those sites that they bomb.
Yeah.
And they love when the kids survive, just like what they did in Haiti, like they did in Hawaii. They love sending agents in there that's attached also to the United Nations, Mossad, all of them. They all do it. They got caught doing it. They got caught doing it plenty of times, collecting busloads of kids. They ain't had no parents because the parents died, and shipping them off to who knows where. And then you come across these videos where other kids is basically exposing the satanic occults and saying that they seeing little kids being sacrificed that look like they from the Middle East. Put it all together.
Then attach on.
That's how dark this is, and our government is funding that because we're sending millions over there monthly. And just think about all the administrations that's attached to this: Obama's, Biden's, Trump's. It don't matter. It don't matter if you Democrat, Republican. It don't matter if you conservative. They all support that. They all support that.
Not to add and to add on, not just sex trafficking, but work camps as well. They use these children. They use these children to work in work camps. Basically, raise them, use them as for slave labor as well. So
and that's what the designer, the stuff that niggas love wearing, the Gucci's, Louis Vuittons, all that's coming from forced labor from kids that they kidnap from places that they bomb, places that they invade, or places from natural disasters. When natural disasters come and there's a bunch of misplaced kids and no parents, they love taking those kids on bus loads and doing whatever they want with them.
Yeah.
That's the type of people we let run this world. We letting all these wicked people. That's why nobody can say shit to me, because we just sit back and we let all these wicked people run the world, giving them praises. People be so starstruck when they come across these wicked individuals. So starstruck. And these are some of the most wickedest people on the planet, but yet they treat their neighbor like they the ones that's doing that. Like, people are so mean and hateful towards their neighbor, but they come across these wicked individuals, these wicked politicians and these wicked celebrities and all that, and they bow down to them. I'm gonna be honest with you. You gotta blame You gotta blame the masses for this, for a lot of this shit too. Because we just sitting back and allowing these wicked people to stay in office, and we arguing amongst who we should let. Who's the next wicked individual
Fighting
we should
amongst each
let
other,
run the
right?
fucking White House?
We fighting
And we
amongst
sitting
each
there
other and
fighting
fighting.
amongst each other to get these wicked individuals, and they all working as a network. They all working together.
And these people don't have power. They only have power that the people give them. You know what I'm saying? They only have the power that we allow them to have, because we don't hold their feet to the fire when certain things go take place. We don't hold their feet to the fire when shit go on. The way the governments ran, we don't really put pressure on them. You have other countries that put pressure on their government, like over there in France. They tearing shit up. They tearing the parliament up. I mean, citizens are putting pressure on the officials. We don't do that here. We fall for to stand in line every 4 years and vote for the same system that keeps screwing us over every 4 years. But and I
And they over
believe
there parading around like they the biblical Israel. They ain't the biblical Israel. They fake as hell.
they're not the biblical Israel
They
at all.
over there parading around, and people believe that they the Israel from the Bible.
No, those
They
are
ain't the Israel from the Bible. What the hell?
nah. The Israel's from the Bible is the ones that's in America and in Ethiopia and certain parts in Africa. Yeah. Those over there are European Zionist Jews. Yeah, I said it. But let's let's continue. Let's continue.
That's with who you're inviting, but flat out telling him that he was not allowed to invite certain people to his events. They were threatening to pull out money. Charlie was getting a lot of really nasty text messages, and many of them pertaining to Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. But Tucker Carlson was really the focus when it came to America Fest. How could Charlie allow these debates about Israel to take place? How could he allow Dave Smith, who, by the way, is Jewish, how could how could Charlie allow this other position to meet the stage? Because obviously when people start to hear the debates, what Dave Smith is saying sounds so rational, but it was up to Charlie to not allow those things to happen. And that amount of pressure towards the end, as you see that conversation he had with Megan was just a month before he lost his life, really, I would say, reached a pinnacle of sorts on the matter of what Tucker Carlson actually said on that stage. Tucker Carlson, while he was on that stage at Turning Point, brought up Bill Ackman. Bill Ackman is a billionaire. Obviously, he is also an extremely litigious billionaire. And Bill Ackman was on Charlie about comments that Tucker Carlson had made on that stage. Tucker Carlson specifically asked the question, where does Bill Ackman's money come from? Who is this guy? Actually, who is this guy that has this much influence? And like I said, Bill Ackman was not happy about this. And so I would like to contextualize Bibi. Again, these are things Bibi brought up publicly, which he didn't have to. He didn't have to bring up the letter. He didn't have to bring up the phone call, but he chose to do this less than 24 hours after Charlie Kirk was shot. Personally,
well, he meant to bring it up because he wanted to know he basically wanted whoever he was signaling out that he put, that he talked to this guy, basically to put the pressure on this guy to stop talking about Israel, the Mossad. Because why would he mention that? Like, why would he mention a phone call, letters, and all that, corresponding back and forth? Because that's not for the general public to know. That's for him to communicate with the people that's backing all them. That's basically saying, listen, we're trying to put the pressure on this guy to basically be quiet. Not only that, it's starting to point towards we the ones that kind of like allegedly took this man out of his misery for saying the things he was saying. You gotta realize how they communicate on national TV don't really be about us. I'm talking about world leaders. They signal out other world leaders and other shadow groups that they represent, because when they're on the forefront, there's always a shadow group behind everyone they present to us on TV. So Netanyahu really ain't got a nick. He really don't have no real power. He's a puppet compared to the people that's running shit. He's a puppet. Trump's a puppet. Any other politician prime minister of a country, or they are all puppets. They are puppets to the shadow government.
And people like Epstein got dirt on all of them just in case they get out of line.
Facts. And so And you got to realize there's many more Epsteins out there. So they got us focusing on
Facts.
Epstein, and he already dead. But what about the niggas that's alive that's still carrying on the orders? Yeah,
right.
that's carrying out the orders still, and
That
that's the
still
people
got those islands out there.
right, and that's the people on that list. A lot of them people are still on that list. Just because they traffic to people doesn't mean those bodies are not being moved around by other traffickers. So you could have Epstein trafficking to other groups that traffic as well, because it's part of a whole organization. And all these groups, all these world leader groups is a part of it. That's why they're able to move bodies in and out of countries, because they're not sneak. You know what I mean? Like, you got to think about how everything is being controlled, how everything is being patrolled and controlled. So how are they able to move all these bodies around?
They got us looking at Epstein Island when there's like 1,000 more of those islands.
1,000 more Epstein's Island. Facts.
And just think about it. They like to put it in the movies and stuff. Because look at the island on the Squid Games.
Right.
Look at the island on Chinese Connection.
Enter the Dragon.
Enter the Dragon, not Chinese Connection.
Island.
Yeah, on Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, he was trafficking and moving heroin.
Right. Sex trafficking, yep, and moving heroin.
Yep.
Like, they like to put it in the movies. And then what was that? Blink Twice. So you got the movie Blink Twice, you got the Squid Games. So these are all the type islands that they have. And of course, these movie directors is going to have that in there, because a lot of these movie directors are tied into that shit too.
They work. Well, if you go on CIA website, it'll show you that CIA works for Hollywood directly.
Right.
That's how they're able to give the information to Hollywood to actually put it in films, because you have to get that from intelligence somewhere. You have to actually get that from, and then they control what's being put in the movies as well. So they're not going to let you just operate and put anything in a movie. That actually has to be vetted by the CIA and wherever organizations is tied to that. They have to vet everything that's being put out in Hollywood.
And they love to indirectly brag about the work that they do. So what they do, they put it in movies and tell us that it's fake, it's fantasy.
Yep.
Not just in the movie The Island, when they growing clones on there to use them for spare parts.
Yeah, and you will look at that as being basically like the black market, where they selling body parts to these elites that don't have to wait on a list like the general population have to wait on a list for a lung, for a heart. Yeah, like the general population, we have to wait for a lung and a heart. We have to get on a list. But if you're an elite, then all they doing is moving bodies around and selling organs on the black market. They don't have to wait for a heart. Dick Cheney ain't have to wait for a heart. They ain't have Dick Cheney on no list. Dick Cheney got a heart soon as it was available. Like, if Cheney heart go bad, he already got a heart frozen on ice for when his heart go bad. You don't have to wait on the list. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what the underground labs are for, so they be able to perform those surgeries and know the blood types of the victims that they kidnap from natural disaster areas and places that they bomb.
Right.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
That's what's going on out here. They love putting it in the movies, in the TV shows. They love doing that.
Yo, y'all need to like this video. Double tap the screen, like this video. Y'all just tuning in. We almost at 100 likes on this joint too. So shout out to y'all just tuning in, man. We gonna continue to unfold all this and get into it. Like, because I know it's the surface level information that being presented from the media and certain alternative medias, but on this channel we go more deeper into it, because there's a shadow government that's running all this shit, and there's also dots that can be connected with that. So that's what we getting into. All right, so click that like button and let's continue.
BB, I would have appreciated if you guys used all of your spyware, you'd spying on us for years, to maybe track down the killer. But I guess this is where you thought it was best to do a little propaganda for Israel would be better than us helping us track down the killer. But anyway, so Bibi Netanyahu in that phone call, which took place was a couple of weeks ago before Charlie lost his life. Charlie was in the Hamptons, and he had more than one event, but he had essentially what was staged, an intervention was staged by Bill Ackman, because Charlie's rational thoughts about Israel were a no-no. This is not the route that you should be going on. And Charlie was surrounded by his friends, his quote unquote friends. Bill Ackman was very upset, and threats were made. That is what I am told, and I will tell you that I am very happy for Bill Ackman to dispute this narrative. In fact, he was asked to dispute this narrative. Max Blumenthal went out to him today, and Bill Ackman came back and said, I have receipts I can show you. And he did not provide the receipts. This is not how it went down. I know it went down this way. I'm waiting for one of them to go on record and to say that it didn't go down this way. It was at this time that Bibi Netanyahu was called and Charlie was invited to Israel. This was an under duress situation, I would say, because I've been in these situations before. When I started asking very sensible questions about Israel, as someone who had dedicated her political life to supporting Israel, many times alongside Charlie Kirk, I was met with the very same pressure. And just like Charlie was being invited to Israel, I was invited somewhere else. And when this arrived to me, it felt like a threat. You know, I got to tell you, it felt like a threat, like not like, hey, come here and we can educate you because you're my friend. More like this is your last chance. Right. That's how it felt to me. I can't speak to how it felt to Charlie. And I know that Charlie was offered a ton of money in this moment, a ton of money. Maybe would fund it, you know, spend tons of money. And Turning Point, I guess, if it needed to go to a higher level, would have gone to an even higher level than it already was at. And I know for a fact that Charlie denied that funding, that Charlie denied, and what Bibi didn't include there, he declined to go to Israel for, I would describe this as like, you know, re-education camp. You know, we've seen it. You made an uh-oh, but we can help you.
Now, people, she said he turned down the money. That's you already a threat to them anyway when you turn down the money. And also you denied a meeting with Netanyahu in Israel. That's another threat. So you basically telling them people that you're not standing for what they standing for. So being as though he started asking questions and actually started speaking out in the media, actually having people come on his show and speak out against Israel, and him go along with speaking out against Israel, already put a target on his back. Because you know our country is like heavy in bed with Israel. So when you're moving it up in positions, you already got being in line with supporting Israel. You're gonna get approached by AIPAC. They're gonna put a couple $1 million in your account. They're gonna make sure you straight. Basically, in a line, you got to be in alignment with them. And they moving like the organized mob. Basically, they moving
Don't
like
forget that
organized
the
crime.
money. Don't forget the money that they offer them is probably money from the United States government, which means tax dollars.
Facts.
So just think about how much money we give them.
Right.
Every time you turn around, you see more and more money coming from the United States going over to Israel.
Yeah.
They probably tried to pay him out of that money. You only giving him some of his own money back. He's an American citizen. You bribing him with American citizen money, blackmailing him with, because that's all they're gonna do with it. So if he took that money, then they would control him 100% because they'd be like, oh, we exposed that you took money from us.
Yeah.
That's why he ain't take the money.
That's why I ain't take the money. Fact.
He wasn't. Yeah, he knew they were trying to set him up from the beginning, and they just didn't like his views on them. And the thing is, this crazy thing is, they said they was taking money from them before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they was in alignment with them
at first. Remember, he said
right.
He wrote the letter. He basically said that even in that video he played with Megan, that he supported Israel. He said he said, I hope Israel win. But then he said, I don't like what they doing with basically wiping out, you know, the Palestinians. They was against that. So when you ain't in an alignment with that, then you automatically makes you a target, especially if you're a person that got a great deal of influence. And these people got a great deal of influence.
And that's the confusing part. Why was they in bed with them in the first place, knowing that they was wiping out the Palestinians after they took the country over? Basically, because if you do the history of Israel, they basically took Palestine over.
Yeah. Right.
Like, let's just be real about that. And started bombing them right away. So what was they supporting? What was they even supporting at that point? What was they backing them for? For what?
Exactly. That's the question
That
you
don't
gotta
even make
ask.
any sense.
All right.
Because
just need you to come
because
up.
they was in alignment getting those checks at one point, but
Yeah,
then it
yeah.
started eating at their conscience. They started eating at their
Yeah, that's what it
conscience.
was. That's what it was. They took the money at first, but then Israel started getting more aggressive with Palestine, and now you feel guilty because you're being presented. You're seeing what's happening in real time. Children, body parts all over the place, rebel, all on. I mean, starvation. Like it's looking like Nazi Germany over there. Probably even worse. So you taking money, but then your conscious. If you're a conscious person, then your conscience is basically eating you up. And I believe the Kirk guy was getting paid to spit the rhetoric about keeping people separate on certain agendas in America, whether it was against the transgenders, the blacks, you know what I mean, the Chinese. Like he was paid to talk that rhetoric because they invest in separatism. When you're hearing all this left and right shit all day, these people being paid to keep people separated. But as soon as you start talking about some other shit that goes against what they paid your ass to talk about, then you automatically a target.
To
You know what I'm saying?
Auschwitz and take a picture. Yeah. We just need you to come to the Holocaust Museum and take a photo. We just need you to go to Israel and we can make this better. Charlie said no to Bibi. Okay. Bill Ackman, if you would like to dispute that, I would love to hear what you say happened because our sources and what we have, it's solid. Okay. There were conversations that took place, messages that were sent at that time, and they are solid. So I decided another person that was there, and I am not surprised this person was there. If you've been listening to my show, Seth Dillon, I was going to go to Seth Dillon, and I decided to message him last night about this Hamptons meeting. And Seth Dillon, who is normally very quick with a response, has not yet been able to respond. I'll show you this text message chain. And I want to be clear, I am not someone who normally publicizes text messages, but my friend was shot in the neck. And I'm just not really in the state right now to be polite when it comes to the answers that I am demanding. Okay. This is me out to Seth Dillon last night. I sent him Bill Ackman's tweets because, he tweeted, I feel incredibly privileged to have spent a day and shared a meal with Charlie Kirk this summer. He was a giant of a man. I said, any comment on this one, Seth? He didn't answer last night. This morning I said, need a comment ASAP, please. He didn't answer. Then I followed that up and I said, trying again here, you were present when Ackman lost his mind on Charlie and when Bibi invited him to Israel and Charlie refused. Text messages immediately following this meeting are circulating. I find Ackman's statement, as though the meeting was somehow cordial, to be incredibly disturbing. Are you at all disturbed by that tweet? Do you feel, as I do, that this tweet significantly betrays the defined purpose and mood of his, and I presume your final meeting with Charlie Kirk, ? He was unable to speak to me, but he did place some frantic calls to Turnpoint USA. Yeah. You see, I went out to Seth, but I also went out to two other people who were at this meeting, and nobody is willing to go on record. They're all messaging each other, trying to figure out a coordinated response to say that, no, this was all quite cordial, but no one wants to go on record and describe it as cordial because they know someone's leaking, because someone's got a guilty conscience about what happened at the Hamptons. So I will again put it out there, Seth, Bill Ackman, and to the other individuals who I have not yet named, but who are going to be named later this week, who were at the Hamptons when Charlie was put under pressure, when Bibi Netanyahu called him and invited him to Israel, again, in a move that when it happened to me, and it wasn't Bibi Netanyahu, felt to me like a laced threat. I am inviting you guys. I will give you my platform, actually.
They basically lined Charlie Kirk up because they paid him to spit all that rhetoric so the people could believe that he was that he was taken out based off the rhetoric he was spewing about black people, transgenders, and all that. And that's not the case. He's being paid to talk that rhetoric, so it automatically when the heat goes down, it automatically looks like, oh, he caught a bullet based off the rhetoric that he was going around spewing out here. But we're looking at it like, oh well, he was basically spewing stuff against the people that was very same people that was basically backing him, basically changed his tune up, changed his script up, and started speaking out against Israel and Mossad and all that. So the people are not looking at it as he got taken out for speaking it on Israel, but he got taken out for spewing rhetoric, and that's just amongst the people, amongst the the sheeple. I mean, The people that just go along with whatever mainstream media tells them, or go along with whatever the majority is going along with. But you also have some people out here that's critical thinkers that's thinking like, oh well, um, he started saying some heavy things against the people that start speaking out against him. So it's kind of like trying to divert people away from him focusing on Israel to make it look like he got taken out on, but you know what I mean, on some rhetoric of, oh, the transgenders and the gun laws and the gangsters and the black people. And so you got the left basically saying Charlie Kirk deserved what he got because he was talking out about against gangsters and gun violence and this and that, transgenders. Then you got the right side basically saying that Charlie Kirk was a hero because he was speaking out against whatever the left believe, trying to keep us confused amongst each other. Meanwhile, it's a bigger play than that. It's a way bigger play than that. Because his voice was starting to grow larger and larger, and he started talking about Israel and things that he was paid not to talk about. He wasn't supposed to be focusing in on Mossad, MI6, and CIA and FBI. He wasn't supposed to be talking about that stuff. So that's what the meetings. She basically saying he met with billionaires, a circle of billionaires in the Hamptons, and they put pressure on him, basically threatening him to shut the hell up, basically. And look, we got this check for you too. Look, we not only telling you to be quiet, but we got this $20 million check for you. And he's like, no, I'm not taking that check. Because if I'm taking that check, I'm already controlled. I'm already at default, at y'all mercy anyway, by me taking this $20 million check. So I'd rather take my chances not taking this check, because I got a conscience of what y'all doing, and even y'all approaching me with this already, making me think in my conscience already that y'all moving dirty anyway. Because what y'all doing is actually crimes against humanity. And if you're a person with a conscience, you're going to speak on all this crime against humanity over there in Israel. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what's going on with this situation here. You know what I mean? They have us fighting amongst each other, left and right fighting amongst each other on some shit that you know what I mean, that really, it doesn't really pertain to what's happening with the Israel shit and the things that's happening on a bigger level. Keep the people distracted, fighting amongst each other while we steal all the wealth out the country and run out the back door and leave people homeless and fighting amongst each other. Then we're going to come back after the blood on the street and everybody's wiped out. We're going to come back and just take over the land, build smart cities, 15-minute cities, put people in, you know what I mean? Basically, y'all know what I'm talking about.
The people that's left.
The people that's left, right.
Because they plan, they want to depopulate most of the world.
Right.
That's why they hired goons like Bill Gates and all of them.
Right.
And people, it's conspiracy theories. How is it a conspiracy theory? How?
Well, you look
they actively over there wiping out men, women, and children. You think they give an F about the rest of the world?
Right. And they already said we want to rebuild in these areas that we're taking over. So Israel already, and right along with America, trying to rebuild over there in Palestine, but they want to build all these new technology. They want to build new technology. So
that they control.
That's what. Yeah. So you take out. Yeah, you basically take out the natives of the land. Same thing. Afghan did. I mean, not Afghan. Same thing. Saudi and them did. Saudi Arabia, when they wanted to build the line, the smart city they building in the desert, there was native people in that area that never wanted to leave or give up their position in that area. So they had to go in and take them out, put them in jail in order to take over that land for them to build the line.
Every government does that. United States definitely love doing that.
Hey.
We've done that all throughout history.
Facts.
We've done that to the Native Americans. They did it to the current Americans, and still doing it to this day.
Right.
Like, look, the Hawaii shit was a land grab.
Yeah, the Hawaii shit was the land grab.
They wanted to destroy all those homes, and in California with those wildfires, it'd be natural wildfires, but they be causing a lot of those shits too.
Yeah.
Like they.
Well, we know that was.
And they burned down. Right. And they started burning down the Amazon rainforest.
Right, right, facts.
We see what they doing. We see the moves that they making.
Yep.
They want this shit to be popping by 2030. And people think it's a conspiracy, but everything is moving towards that direction. How do people still not see this?
Because they don't want to see it. They're not paying attention because they keeping us. They got us paying attention to the distractions more than that anyway. So they make you think, oh, it's far.
Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah. They keep the left and fight. Well, if you keep the left fighting and left and right fighting amongst each other, then, like I said, they able to pull off plans because they have the people distracted fighting amongst each other while they basically running, stealing all the wealth out the country. You know what I'm saying? So they could rebuild, basically use our tax dollars to go take over other countries.
And then they got Bill Gates in China buying up most of the farmland in the United States because they want to control the food supply.
Yeah, they want to control food, agriculture. They want to control the technology, artificial intelligence. They want to control basically all the public transportation. You know what I mean? So they basically taking over every aspect, technical wise, like technology. They want technology to basically run everything, automated system, like everything run on automated system. That way you have artificial intelligence ruling over humanity, processing everything faster. Right. They don't really have to deal with humans. Like you basically dealing with artificial intelligence now. Humans barely even, like you calling up certain establishments, it's always artificial intelligence. You never get to talk to a human. When you're dealing with platforms like Facebook and all these other platforms, you never really get to talk to a human. Once in a while, but mostly they have artificial intelligence really filtering everything. So
a bunch of automated
systems. Put the whole world on autonomous. Put the whole world on autonomous. That way they're able to control everyone based off of artificial intelligence. They don't have to basically have the manpower, because they don't have the manpower to monitor everybody anyway. So if you depopulate most of the people on the planet, the people that's left that you can't depopulate, you put them on an automated system and let AI basically control everything.
And they getting rid of all the farmland and replacing them with food processing plants where they 3D print the food.
3D print the food and gene splice, basically gene splicing and creating chickens in 2 weeks and all shit like that. Hatching an egg and goddamn 3 or 4 days, and not even eggs. They just taking stuff and mixing different DNAs and creating food out of that with the vegetables, the meats, and the fruits.
And if anybody know about generating their own food through farming and everything, you realize food never runs out. The only reason why places go through famines is because governments cause that. Mm-hmm. Government through regulate. All the famines in history was caused by governments. Wicked governments and their regulations. Famines aren't natural. Right. Like this is so much
we dealing with.
Food is so plentiful on this planet because it grows infinitely and there's so much land. The only reason why we think that it's not and it's scarcity is because of government regulation. It's always the governments. Right. It's always the governments that cause the famines.
Yeah, and the thing is that's how you keep people controlled. You control them through the things that they need to survive. So they basically put everybody in survival mode. You need food, you need water. Water is a commodity. You gotta realize water is becoming a commodity because it's not easy to get clean water anymore. So water is like the new gold. Like I hear a lot of people that's in that world where they talking about, basically hoarding the water supplies and all that. That water is going to be very, very, it's important now, but water is going to be really very important to society while all this is going on. You know what I mean? Like we seen a glimpse of that through with the fires over there in California. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, all this ties into what we're talking about because there's a resistance that they're going to meet anyway. So you're going to have public figures like Candace, maybe a few other people speaking out against Israel because this is the resistance that they're going to meet because all of the crimes against humanity over there, starving people, basically wiping out whole countries just so they can rebuild. It's not going to be, everybody's not going to go along with that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So they're gonna meet resistance. It's gonna be a lot more people they're gonna be trying to assassinate, but it's only gonna make it more hot for them to do that. It's gonna make it more hot for them.
And
You know
they
what I'm saying?
slipping diseases and all the stuff in our
Right,
food, in our
right.
food supply.
Facts.
Stuff that they've been experimenting in Africa with. Now they put it all into the food and into the so-called medicine that they give us.
Right.
The shit all them starving Africans over there that they claim was starving and looking skinny and shit on it. Those were
Test
just
subjects.
experiments. Yep, test
Yeah, those are
subjects.
test
And then they rolled it
subjects.
out to the rest of the world.
Facts.
Because we all got these odd sicknesses and all this shit going on, autoimmune diseases and all that shit that we didn't even have 50 years ago.
Facts. Even
And that's
50,
because
right.
they are poisoning the food because they want to lower the population, because in order for them to do the artificial intelligence and a complete digital lockdown, they can't do that with 6 billion people on the planet.
Good luck
So
with
their
that.
goal is to lessen their goal is to lessen the human population down to 500 million, which is ridiculous.
Right. Good luck with that. I mean,
Like we're all
oh, go ahead.
everybody's walking
Okay.
around sick, so nobody can say this is a conspiracy theory. If you
No,
go
no, no,
back
no.
50
Right,
years,
right,
we
right.
ain't got half of the diseases, weird shit that we got now.
Nah, hell no. Hell no. Damn sure
Tell
don't.
us what really happened, because I think Charlie was definitely on the brink of changing some of his perspectives. And I can tell you factually, Charlie was praying the rosary. Charlie was going to mass. One of my last conversations with Charlie was me joking with him saying, just make the last step. Okay. You are, I said specifically, you're too smart to be a Protestant. Just take the last step, Charlie. And he says, haha. You're speaking about Mary. And typically when those steps start taking place, you stop referring to yourself, as I did, as a Judeo-Christian. Again, it is mystifying why, Bibi was out there doing the absolute most to make sure that Charlie was basically remembered as, I would argue, like a Jew, has not been yet mentioned. I didn't hear that. Erica was very clear that Charlie was a Christian. I believe Charlie obviously was very much a Christian, and that things are not being told truthfully. In fact, I will also call upon, since we're having fun, Turning Point USA to release the audio of what Charlie Kirk, because I was in communication with Charlie at this time, because I knew exactly which donors were pressuring him and why, exactly which people that they were insisting Charlie allowed to speak at his event and why, when Charlie did not necessarily want those people to speak at his events. Okay. I'm calling upon Turning Point to release the footage of what Charlie said to Tucker Carlson before he hit the stage, before, all of that craziness and the response to Tucker Carlson's remarks played out. Charlie was mic'd. Surely Tucker Carlson was mic'd. I know Charlie's mic'd the entire time at those events. So I'm asking for everyone to just release Charlie in his own words. I feel like that's pretty fair, right?
Y'all double tap the screen like this
how
video,
Charlie
y'all.
felt, and instead, if you're going to hold up the letter, release it in its entirety. Okay? Why don't you release your messages, Bill? I'll release mine. Let's all just be very forthcoming about what took place. In fact, I'm calling upon Tucker Carlson to speak about that. I know what Charlie said to him, and I'm sure Tucker Carlson won't lie about it. What did Charlie say to you? Dave Smith, what did Charlie say to you? What was Charlie? Did he seem like he was treading in the direction? Like, do we feel like what Bibi is saying is honest, a representation of what Charlie was going through? This is what I want. I think that the thing that we need here, sunlight is the best disinfectant. Now, does all of this mean that Bibi Netanyahu and that this somehow proves that Israel was involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk? No, we have no evidence of that. We can't say that because there is no evidence of that. But I don't like little lies. That's what I will say. Something that I always say in my household is, when there is one lie, there's 20. There's no reason to lie. Bibi could have gone on Fox News and he could have told the truth. He could have said truthfully that Charlie Kirk has always loved Israel. He has always loved Israel as the Holy Land. He's been here many times. And throughout his career, he has been a faithful supporter of Israel. That's not what he said. Okay. He talks about the phone call and didn't give it the proper context. He held up the letter and didn't give it the proper context. And lies by severe omission, I'd like to be very clear, are lies. Right. Lies by severe omission are lies. You're not going to gaslight us and tell us to shut up or call us anti-Semitic for pointing out the fact that Charlie was having a change of heart about the tactics that Israel was using in America, and that he felt when he had left that meeting that he had effectively been blackmailed. Again, my platform yours, Blackman. So if you verify it, we can do it in front of millions, okay? And I think that that's what people deserve, because everyone has PTSD. we watched Charlie get shot in the throat. That feels a little bit symbolic. It feels like they wanted us to know that his voice was problematic. Again, I don't know who they is. After we take this brief break, we're going to go through the investigation, which seems to have a lot of inconsistencies and holes in it. And we're definitely not yet at the bottom of what in fact took place. But I do know that I severely distrust people who rush to misrepresent things. And it's not a good sign when somebody has to ask you, as Greta Van Susteren asked Bibi Netanyahu in his secondary hit regarding Charlie Kirk's assassination. It's not a good sign if somebody even has to ask if you did have anything to do with the assassination. It doesn't make you a great person, okay? And that's what she asked him. Take a listen.
If you crave nature but still shop online, Night and Day Herbals is your dream come true. Discover premium herbal soaps, shampoos, and CBD products. All organic, all for you. Shop now at nightandayherbals.com.
And I've just the absurdity of it. Some of the internet rumors that somehow Israel is behind the Charlie Kirk murder, and I don't believe it for 1 second. But I want you to make a statement. It's so absurd.
That's insane. That's insane. Israel also changes the orbit of the moon. Israel pushes the sun. I mean, the whole thing is. It's not only insane. I think it's so absurd, so stupid, and so ridiculous. You can't believe that people are saying that. They just found the perpetrator. They'll get to the bottom of this. But they go, they have no limits. When you hate Jews, when you hate the Jewish state, you're willing to say anything and promote all these absurd rumors. And by the way, they're willing to kill us all the time. I mean, that's what they're doing. And over the centuries, when Jews, especially in the Middle Ages, the horrific Middle Ages, the worst things were said about Jews you couldn't possibly believe. We were poisoning the wells. We were drinking the blood of Christian children. You name it. I mean, these things, that continued actually up to the Holocaust. The Nazis said the same thing. We're carrying vermin. We're spreading disease. And people believed it. And every time they believed it, this was a prelude to a greater and greater massacre, culminating with the worst massacre of them all, the Holocaust.
Well, he's mentioned the Holocaust. Guess we can't prod the narrative any further, guys. Holocaust. So everybody's just stopped talking about anything. I mean, hey, he's the victim. It's absurd. It's just absurd. The Holocaust.
All right, but he causing the Holocaust over there in that's what they be saying, bro. They be so hypocritical, man. Yeah, he's so hypocritical to even mention anything about the Holocaust when they're actually causing a Holocaust themselves over there in Palestine. You know what I
There's so
mean?
many different Holocausts that's going on.
Yeah,
I
facts.
mean,
At one time, right?
Yeah, and people don't even realize the covert Holocaust of all the poisoning that they're doing to our food, water, and air, and causing all these illness, all this heart attack and stroke. Y'all think, y'all think it's just because people ain't exercising enough and not eating right? Nah, we are being poisoned. That's one of the biggest Holocausts. You see all the people that's dying from heart attack and stroke because all the chemicals and shit that they spraying on our food and into our water and all. That's the biggest Holocaust that's going on right now. They poisoning the hell out of us right now.
Right, poisoning out the food. Exactly. That's what people.
And the shit that they treating us with is poison.
Right, right. The pharmaceuticals and the agriculture.
Facts.
And that's what the people really should be gathering together, left and right, because left and right is being poisoned.
Facts.
You got to realize that they got the people fighting amongst. Each other about left and right wing and all that.
And it's religious shit. This
Israel,
Jewish and Christian.
Right.
Who cares about any of that shit at this moment? Those are labels.
We all being poisoned at the same exact time. We all being poisoned by the same entities. Both left and right are suffering the same fate. So, and that's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. You got the left and right suffering the same fate.
Look at the cancer clinics filled up. Look at all the people that got all the liver function is going down, kidney functions is going down. Niggas having heart attacks and strokes because we're being poisoned.
Cancer is off the charts.
Right, exactly. We think
cancer is off the charts.
We think that this is normal because we was born into it. And we blame it on people living unhealthy lifestyles. It ain't just about people living unhealthy lifestyles. We're actively being poisoned. It's like chemical biological warfare that's going on.
And that's what the people should be banding together about is really
facts.
because that's affecting us on a day-to-day basis. Everything that's involved with us surviving is being chemically laced. The food we shop for every day is being
Facts.
chemically laced.
And
That's
that death
affecting
toll high
us.
as hell.
Yeah, and that's affecting us and our children in real time. Like
In
this,
our
you know what I mean?
DNA.
And
It's
altering
literally
our
changing
DNA.
it's
Yeah, it's
literally
altering.
altering our DNA.
Yeah, it's altering our DNA.
That's the biggest Holocaust ever, because that
Facts.
the Holocaust ain't got shit on that. Like, look all the people that's dying from heart attack, stroke, and cancers because of the shit that they poisoning us with.
And it's all
Globally.
done. This all done under the population control. I mean, population control, because they trying to basically kill off a certain amount of the population. I mean,
Somebody said you're letting yourself be poisoned by consuming what they. It ain't just by consuming it. We're inhaling it. They spraying the shit. Like, it's not even just eating it. You can eat healthy and still get cancer because we're being exposed to it through our water supply. It ain't no labels on the water supply. The water supply is
right.
poison. The air is poison.
That's why we saying
It goes
water is
beyond
very
it goes
important.
beyond just reading the label and seeing that it's poison and making smart food choices. They are actively poisoning the environment. Like, do you get it? It goes way beyond just people's choice, making smart choices in your food.
Yeah,
They are
it's
poisoning the
environmental.
environment.
Yeah,
Like,
it's the
you
whole
can't
environment.
escape it because it's called it's called covert chemical biological warfare. That's exactly what it is. So it's bigger than just making the right food choices.
Fact. Like this video, man. Share this live stream. Share this live broadcast, man. We breaking it down. We're giving y'all the real within inside within inside this whole ordeal about what's happening with this Charlie Kirk situation. Candace Owens exposing some things that she know personally that happened behind the scenes. And while in the midst of that, we gonna give you a more broader picture, a more broader, picture of what's really going on. Not just having us focusing on Charlie Kirk and
Facts.
Israel
It's
and
bigger than this shit.
God and focusing on just singling out these different groups when this is a global war on humanity, period, far as where they want to take, where they want to rebuild in the future, and how they want to basically you know, um, basically try to dominate the planet. And I mean, we know they're not going to be successful 1000% because it's never been done. But we know we're seeing, all the ins and outs of what's happening right in front of our eyes. It's all unfolding right before our eyes. So I don't want y'all to just be hung up on Charlie Kirk and all these figures these symbols. I would call them symbols that's being presented to us in the media. All these celebrities and Diddy and Epstein and Ghislaine, and it's way bigger than them.
Yeah, Candace is just scratching the surface.
Yeah, Candace ain't gonna never.
Like she ain't saying the real shit. Like, all right, she's covering the shit, the corruption that happened to Charlie Kirk and all that. That shit, that's not as big as what's been going on globally.
Yeah,
like all the covert shit that's happening.
Yeah, she can't
That's
talk
the stuff
like we
they're not
talk.
talking about.
But even though she do talk about some certain things, I can't say she
yeah,
don't.
she does.
Nah, she is.
I'm just talking about
She
this
goes in.
situation.
Yeah, but
I'm
this
just talking
far
about
this
this
situation,
situation.
right? Yeah, this situation here. And I understand why she's talking about this situation the way she is, because it's more personal for her because of the person that's, I mean. So I understand that she's not going to go too far into it like we're doing it, because she's speaking to a certain people. She's speaking to she want a message to get out to a certain people. So she's not going to talk about the broader things. So she's going to stick to a certain topic that she needs that message to reach out to, because she's really talking over the people. She's not really even talking to the people. She's talking to the higher up people that has a lot to do with what's taking place. She's sending a message out to them. So I understand what she's doing. You know what I mean?
To be
So
honest, it's too late.
yeah.
It's too late. Like this, we about to see a global collapse soon, and
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it should happen
right.
because people need to wake the fuck up.
Yeah, that's
Like, people need to
absolutely,
wake up.
absolutely.
Like, People
Absolutely.
pay too much close attention to the messenger, not the message. People argue about little small detail shit when they're covertly killing everybody. Like we
Yeah,
worried
but
about
yeah,
small
right.
shit. Like and all around us, there's death because of these wicked individuals that's running everything, and they got us arguing about fucking the Jews and Christians and
Yeah,
gays and
yeah.
straights and
Yeah, we don't.
and Democrats and Republicans, and they got us arguing about that shit while they actively killing all of us, no
Well,
matter
I mean,
what our label is.
I understand that. I understand people. Not everybody's going to see it from a broader perspective
That's
because
why
they
I said it's
still,
too late.
yeah. So because they
That's why I said
still,
it's too late. They
yeah.
got us
So
already. They got
yeah.
majority
I
of
mean,
they
I don't
got
think
majority of us already.
I don't agree that they got us 100%. I don't agree with that. But it's majority of
Bro,
because
by
you know
them
what I mean.
having majority of us and nobody's doing nothing about it, they already got us.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I mean,
some
just
people
look
have to
around
suffer
us.
the fate of the people that
Everybody, I
still
bet you
sleep.
everybody in this chat knows someone right now that got a
Cancer.
serious health problem.
Yeah, that
Whether
died
it's
from
cancer,
cancer or right. You know what I mean? Yeah.
heart problems. I bet you
Right.
it's seriously.
Right.
And not linking it to them poisoning us. Our own
Yeah.
government globally are poisoning us.
Right. So let's
Like
get
that's
that
the biggest
established.
holocaust. That's the
Yeah, that's
biggest
the biggest.
genocide
Yeah, that's the
there is.
biggest. Yeah, that's the biggest
That's the biggest
overt war
genocide
that's
there
going
is.
on. Right. So all this lot of other things is just playing a part in.
That's why I said they
Yeah, let's
already
push the
got us,
towards
because
that.
people
Right.
still want to hear about the small shit that's going on and not the big picture.
Yeah. Right. I mean,
We're too distracted.
yeah,
So shit, I guess it's supposed to
yeah,
happen.
right. It's all part of the play. So you know what I
You
mean?
heard him.
Right.
We're sick of this shit. We really are. And there will be no narrative that I will not prod when it comes to figuring out why people are lying about the state that Charlie was in when it came to the topic of Israel. Again, you can examine Charlie in his own words. He was starting to talk about topics that you're not really allowed to talk about when you take money and big checks are being written. And the pressure was increasing every single day. In fact, he was telling the truth even about Jeffrey Epstein. Take a listen.
Epstein with his little friend Ghislaine and Ghislaine's father, Robert Maxwell, who was obviously a spy of the Israeli intelligence agencies, but there was something else going on here. Epstein was not some sort of whiz kid hedge fund manager. Epstein was playing a part. Epstein was a LARPer. Epstein was cast for a specific role, and he played it really well. The sweatpants and the Harvard jacket, the kind of disheveled hair, looking as if he was so smart and above the clouds that he was doing advanced mathematic equations on the back of napkins. But if you actually go into some of the videos of people that met with Epstein at the time, they said he was awfully unimpressive when it came to finance and markets and economics. And it's nothing new that if you're in the intel agencies, you want to try and get as much blackmail on powerful people as possible. Easy, not hard. And this is no longer just speculation. First of all, the evidence that shows that Epstein was a creation of either Mossad, Israeli intelligence, American intelligence, Saudi intelligence, or maybe he was just a hired gun. Maybe he was just the guy that countries would go to and park a couple $100 million and say, hey, can you get one of the members of the royal family with a 13-year-old so we can get them to do what we want to do? Members of Congress
that's crazy.
are
You see
actively
that?
being blackmailed. The Epstein
Right.
playbook is being used on a daily basis. Jeffrey Epstein was not a financier. He was not a hedge fund manager. Jeffrey Epstein was a key player in a multi-decade blackmail operation against the most powerful people on the planet.
Yeah, but we y'all need to know that it's more. Epstein is dead already, according to them. So it's more. The organization still continues. So it's more people out here. So who's the next? Who is the next Epstein? Who's the next Epsteins? I mean, because it's more than just one Epstein.
It
And
ain't no
I don't
next.
mean
They all
and
acting together.
right. So the point is that we need to get to the people that's still active right now. Ghislaine locked up, Epstein dead. We don't. That's past. Who's still actively you know, working right now in the organization? Those are the next people that need to be targeted. You know what I mean? So I hear a lot of people talking about Epstein and Ghislaine, and these people already suffered their fate. Who's the people that's constantly keeping the organization going? Those are the people names that need to be exposed and put on the chopping block. You know what I mean? All right, who's in them files? Exactly.
See, this is the type
Yeah, I
shit
don't
that
know,
we need to be.
man.
Hold on, real quick. This is
Yeah,
the
go
type
ahead.
shit we
Yep.
need to be focused on. Somebody just said in the chat, the government admitted the army sprayed a black neighborhood in St. Louis with a chemical containing
See?
cadmium, a carcinogenic, in 1953, and that's the shit
See?
they do every day.
They still doing it. Yeah,
They
they still doing that.
It's not, yeah, they still doing it. And that they not just spraying black neighborhoods, they spraying every fucking neighborhood now.
Yeah, every
That's what
neighborhood is
people are
being
not
sprayed, man.
understanding. Like, they got us distracted with
The
all this
food,
shit. They
the
got us
food.
distracted with everything. They got us distracted with the shit that's going over there in the Middle East. They got us distracted with, you know what I mean, all that's going on with the
Right.
Democrat versus the Republican and the Christian versus the Jew, while they're actively poisoning us. Like, what's more important than that? Like, they're
Yeah, because
actively
that's
poisoning
actually
you right
yeah,
now
because
as
that's
we
happening.
speak
Yeah, that's actually affecting us right now, like in real time,
in real
on a
time.
day-to-day basis. Yeah.
Most of us can't even breathe walking the fuck outside.
Nah, you
It's
can't.
shit.
Nah.
It's so many chemicals in
Yeah.
the air that they're allowing into the environment that most of us can't even
But
freaking
look,
breathe
somebody
outside.
said I'm in the UK and we sprayed every day and night. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a global chemical biological warfare. It's just not in America, but it's all over the planet. Because
Facts.
if they want to focus on population control, then that has to be a world dominated thing that happens. That has to happen. And it's going to affect different areas. Because you gotta understand they want to rebuild in these areas where they're depopulating the people at. They want to build in these areas. They want to rebuild in these areas, and they want to make sure a certain amount of people is that they can actually put under their surveillance basically. They want to surveil and control our lives on a daily basis. And really they only doing it because they want to keep themselves in a position of power. Um but they got us tricked to believe that they're in power when the power structure is really at the bottom of the pyramid.
Like, let's
I
put this in
mean,
perspective.
the
Are you
people
gonna give
got
a shit?
the people got the power to make
Right.
this change, make this shit happen. To actually make real change, the people can do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And are you gonna give, like, let's put this into perspective. The shit that they spraying on us, the shit that they putting in our food, our water, and our land is giving us severe illnesses. Are you gonna give a shit about any of those arguments when you're in your deathbed dying from fucking
Right. Yeah,
a
right.
painful cancer because you're
Nope.
being sprayed with shit? Like, you ain't gonna give a fuck about the argument of what Epstein did. You ain't gonna be thinking about none of
Yeah,
that shit
you're
when you're
not
on
gonna
your
care about
deathbed.
none of that, right? You're not gonna give a care about
Or
that.
when your
Nah.
child is in a leukemia
Right.
clinic.
Yeah.
Like, how are kids getting cancer? How are kids born with cancer? What's
I mean,
happening out
it's
here in
the
our
food.
environment for all this shit that to be going
The
on?
chemical is the chemicals in the food, bro. The
That's what I'm saying.
dye, the
Priorities. Who
dyes,
gives a shit
the
about what?
all the different labels in the back of your ingredients. When you start seeing 100,000 ingredients in one packet, now you got to realize that's a concoction that's being mixed, and then you're using hair care and skincare products on top of the
Right.
food you're putting in your body. So that's a whole lot of chemicals, man, on a day-to-day basis. So if your lotions and if you ain't using natural stuff and you're using this commercialized, mass produced chemical based products on a daily basis, you're taking it in, you know, eternity, and you putting it on your skin, right along with bathing inside the water that's also being chemically poisoned. So you gotta think about that's a lot of poison on a day-to-day basis for even one person to even deal with. That's crazy. That's a lot of chemicals, bro.
And if your body is under duress like that, you're gonna constantly make bad decisions. You're
It's
not
gonna
gonna be
affect your
thinking
mood.
straight. It's
Right.
going, yep. So how you gonna sit there and argue about what's right and what's wrong when you're half brain dead from all the chemicals and not even
Right.
realizing you are? If you got fucking headaches all the time, you're
Yeah.
tired all the time, even though you get enough sleep, your blood pressure's off, your heart beating funny, all this shit going on, and you still trying to argue about politics.
Yeah, it makes no
It don't
sense.
make any
Yeah,
sense.
it don't make no
Gives a shit
sense.
about let's get this. Let's get these goddamn. You want to talk about politics? Let's get all these damn politicians out of office at this point. because
Yeah,
they just
right.
allowing
They
all
are
the fucking
being
poison into
bought and
our
paid.
environment.
Yeah, they being bought and paid for by
Facts.
these chemical based companies that's being paid, basically contracted to put the the chemicals in the food. So that's what's basically happening on a global level at that.
On
Now
a
you
global level.
they meet resistance. Are meeting a lot of resistance because of certain countries they're banning the poisons because the people just not accepting it. So when the people got the power to actually make things move. So if you have a large population of the people that's not accepting it, then that's going to force them to make adjustments as well. That's going to force these corporations to make adjustments because nobody's buying it. They only buying it because what I mean. The people is accepting it. That's the only reason why they can continue to get away with it because nobody's saying no. Nobody's saying, yeah, I mean, we need to protest and get the chemicals out the food. Like you don't even see protests of people protesting in large groups to get the poison out the food that's affecting us on the day. But people are banding together for allowing people to be sex changes, and we're gonna band together, and you know what I mean, my body, my choice. I understand all those things. People don't see that's the diversion that they use to keep us focused, not focusing on the real problems. Now you got millions of people drove together and saying get the chemicals out the food, then that's what they got to do. They got to get the chemicals out the food, but nobody's moving in millions of droves down the street, marching on it and saying, "Listen, we don't want the chemicals no more." So that's why they're gonna keep getting away with it. That's all I'm gonna say.
We
Maybe that
arguing
seems to
about
conflict
we too
with these
busy
narratives a
arguing
little
about Democrats and Republicans. That's
Yeah,
why.
bit. Yeah, just a tiny
exactly.
bit. I do want to say this. It's important because I am angry. I will obviously, I pray to move on from this phase, but it's a fire in my belly right now. To those of you who think that you are going to replace Charlie Kirk, okay? Kings are born. You don't just get to depose and tell us that we're going to follow this individual, okay? I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point USA. You put a shill in Charlie Kirk's chair, in Charlie Kirk's company, and you try to tell us to follow that individual, I will be an enemy of you. There will be nothing that can stop me. Okay. And I want you guys to understand this is not a threat. This is a promise. There will be nothing that can stop me. I will release every single text message. So to those of you who are trying that, I'm seeing the messages. I am telling you to back off right now. Like right now. Don't do it. Okay. Don't you think about it. I know exactly who you are. I know exactly who you were that were exerting pressure. Don't you pretend to be noble now and say nice things about Charlie Kirk and think you're going to slide into his chair. Okay. Over my dead body, which I'm sure can be arranged. Now, I'm going to take a pause. We're going to go to some sponsors, and we're going to get into what we are being told by the agencies. There are definitely some holes. Maybe more is coming out. First, this is fantastic that Preborn is doing this. Every heartbeat tells a story, and at Preborn, they give moms in crisis the chance to hear that heartbeat for free, and that's exactly why.
So basically, she's saying she willing to leak the names of the folks that's directly involved with her friend getting killed. Um, that's basically what she saying. Like she basically saying like y'all, I'm giving y'all time to tell the truth. So I'm just gonna basically start just leaking text messages and things that's pertaining to that happened with the dude. So I mean, if she she's yeah, be careful out here. But I mean, it don't be fair. It's no fair because I mean, if you believe what you're doing is the right thing, then there shouldn't be no fair. Especially if you're on the righteous side of things, there's no fair. It's like, all right, you want to take me out for telling the truth, then that's just gonna make the truth spread even more. So, oh
Yeah,
well,
telling the truth is a dangerous game, and it is not profitable. That's why most people don't tell the truth.
yeah, right.
Because in this world of fake lies or artificial motherfuckers and people who's dumbed down, the truth ain't got is the truth ain't. There's no value to the truth anymore in a world like this. And it's only causing illness and sickness, and the only thing that's going to happen is the world is just going to fall apart because truth is what keeps the
Reset,
world together.
reset. It's going to have to reset. It's going to have to be a reset.
That's obviously that's where we headed to.
Yeah, it has to.
Then none
It's
of
going to
this
have to
shit's going to
collapse.
matter.
Yeah, it's going to have to collapse.
It is.
But I understand it's some people that's going, just going to suffer the fate of what comes along with being a truth teller. I'm talking about an absolute truth teller, not somebody that, scratching the surface. I'm talking about somebody that's actually telling,
well, absolute
truth to
truth
the
teller don't even have to get attacked by the government.
nope.
The people will do it.
Right, the people, right.
The people
Facts.
hate truth tellers.
Yeah, that's facts.
Like
Facts.
it sounds cute when people, oh, the truth. Yeah, we need more whistleblowers. We need more truth tellers. This world hate truth tellers. People love being lied to. People love being lied to.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's why the shit's gonna collapse, and it should.
As it should.
Yeah,
Right.
as it should.
Okay.
All right.
Let's get into what we know about the Charlie Kirk assassination thus far in terms of what the authorities are telling us. First, I just want to toss it to Michael Savage because the energy of this, what Michael Savage had to say about everything that we're hearing, is pretty much all of us right now. Take a listen.
The so-called FBI, something's wrong. I know I shouldn't do this. I'm risking an awful lot to go up against this FBI, the MAGA FBI. Something's very wrong with what I just heard. I mean, I watched it. I was hoping that they had caught the bastard who shot Charlie. So we saw a video of a person jumping off the roof. It looked very legitimate to me. However, there was no rifle in his hand. Now, the Mauser does not break down very easily, incidentally, for those of you who know weapons. Something's wrong with the whole thing. They're trying to claim he removed the barrel from the Mauser and fit the receiver and stock in his backpack and barrel in his pants leg all in 2 seconds. It is not easy to remove a Mauser barrel or index it after reinstalling and remain accurate. We are not hearing or seeing reality. And by the way, the photo of the rifle allegedly left in the woods has the barrel installed. So we're supposed to believe a guy is on the run after killing Charlie Kirk, and he pauses in the woods to reinstall a barrel, and he leaves it for us to find, the FBI to find. I don't believe a word of it. I shouldn't do this. I know I'm putting myself at risk, but I can't take it anymore. I can't take the bullshit from this fucking government. It's lying to us.
He just
Something's wrong. Something's so wrong. It's sickening.
Sickening is definitely the right adjective, I think, to describe how a lot of us are feeling. And all I know how to do is to gather information, to research, and to investigate. And nothing is making sense. Now, it could not be making sense because we've not arrived at the conclusion. The FBI, I will say, has recently come out and said they're looking for another person. Good, because what we have so far obviously cannot be it. I feel, I was insisting that everybody read that book, Chaos, about the Charles Manson murders. And what we learn from that book is that if the government does want to hide something, what they do is they give you so much information that you can't, you don't even know what's real. So many different possible ways that things could have gone down, so many different manners, so many people speaking, so many publications publishing. And it's just meant to be chaotic, to drive you crazy and to just go, okay, I'm just going to accept whenever the authority says something and not prod any further. We can't allow that to happen here. I won't allow that to happen here because this something terrible has traumatized the world, okay? And I feel as though when it comes to this, the media, the government, the talking heads, everyone is confusing us about what actually took place with Charlie Kirk, this event, how it got set up. I even would like to know who picked the venue, okay? Here is what we know thus far, and I will tell you who the exact source is and what video they presented. So the first bit of proof regarding that day happened at 8:07 a.m. According to TMZ, they have footage, and we're going to show you it, which shows a man at 8:07 a.m., so hours before the shooting, wearing a maroon t-shirt and light shorts, as you were seeing on your screen right now.
That look random as shit.
That is just walking
That
outside
dude, that
the
look
university
random.
grounds.
Like
Okay?
a random kid walking past.
Now, Governor Cox tells us that at 8:29, which is an interesting timeline, Governor Cox tells us that that is when the shooter, Tyler Robinson, arrived at UVU campus in a plain maroon t-shirt, light colored shorts, and a black hat with a white logo. So essentially he's saying that what that person we saw walking down the street right there arrived on campus at 8:29. I'm going to allow you to hear Governor Cox say that himself. Take a listen.
Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light colored shoes.
So what's interesting, already confusing to me, is that TMZ shows him already walking. We're supposed to believe he parked his car and then walked onto campus. They're saying that after that video that you just saw of him walking, he got into his car and then drove to campus. And then at 8:29 p.m. on campus is when he arrives. Already confusing, but let's just keep going. We don't need to poke holes. Let's just keep going with the narrative. Then we're back to TMZ, and they release that at 11:49 a.m., they have footage of the shooter who has now changed his outfit. We're supposed to gather that again on a doorbell cam, and he's in a different outfit. So this is 11:49 a.m. Charlie Kirk has not yet been shot. Take a look at this. Okay, and for those of you that are listening to this on audio, you are going to see someone who appears to be limping. Okay, so maybe he changed his outfit at some point and now he's limping. And the idea that we're seeing floated is that he's limping because he's holding the gun in his pants. Okay, that's kind of what's been floated. Okay, that's not particularly come from the feds. I don't believe so, but he's limping now and he's got on a different outfit. Okay.
Man,
11:52 a.m. And we were actually going to check this, by the way, but I think that we had the FBI say that was when he arrived on campus. Maybe that's not accurate. But so let me just skip off of that because, Skylar, we should actually look to research that. But at 12:23 p.m. is when Charlie Kirk is shot. Okay. And 12:23 p.m. is when in that same minute is when we have footage that shows us that as the crowd ducks and it's blurry, the shooter runs across the rooftop. I'm going to tell you why that's significant. So 12:23, Charlie Kirk is shot, and we are going to have an angle of that and the image of the black person in black rather, that is running across the rooftop. Take a look at this. They're down clearly. And right away, look at that, okay? And we have another, the footage shows us, there's another actually clip that I was looking for, Skylar, there, that it actually shows him running across the rooftop. You guys may have seen it. The reason why that footage is problematic, as you start to see them ducking and then you see the shooter immediately start moving across the rooftop, is that their narrative is that he disassembled the gun and then started running. So that's a bit confusing to us of how he was able to do that so quickly. An unbelievable amount of hunters, guns, people that reached out to me and said, that just didn't happen. They have exactly as Michael said, that did not happen. There is no way that happened. That cannot be accurate. Then, and this is obviously the craziest part of everything, we have Decoy Boy, right? So it happens and suddenly this guy, George Zinn, gets arrested. He's making noise. He's signaling that he's somehow shot the guy. And at 12:52, it gets announced that the suspect is in custody. So nobody needs to look around anymore because the suspect is in custody. But actually, I guess George Zinn just does that. He just does that, I guess, like just wants people to think he's done something but he hasn't actually done anything. That again, to me, feels like he's a decoy. Like more people are involved in this. Wow. I will say that. We don't know, but we know that something's wrong with this. Then at 12:29 p.m., we have TMZ showing us that there's a person running through the backyard. They are saying this appears to be the suspect running. Okay, now we're going to show you that clip. It is very grainy. So they're alleging that that's him. We couldn't confirm that, and the feds have not confirmed that. But it does show you that someone's running across the back. Again, that's at 12:29 p.m. I don't know. We don't know. I'll give you some other facts that you should probably know just in general that has been thus far confirmed. The weapon, they say, was found in the woods and it was wrapped by a dark towel. Okay, now, when they gave us a photo of that weapon, it was fully assembled. So this is kind of what Michael Savage is saying. He's saying, okay, so then they reassembled it, or maybe the feds did. Maybe they're going to clarify that they reassembled it for a photograph, but we are told that it was found wrapped in a dark towel. Then we have been told that a screwdriver was found on the roof. So they're sticking to this implication that he undid.
All that was planted, y'all. Don't be fooled. All that was planted.
Perhaps undid this gun while he was on the rooftop and he, wanted to make sure he unscrewed it with the screwdriver, left the screwdriver behind, but took the gun, but then left the gun in the woods. Okay. Then we get, and this has not been contextualized, and I can't wait until it is contextualized, we get photos that are the shooter. This is when the FBI came out and said he's in a stairwell. We don't know exactly where that stairwell is. He's in outfit number 2. So the outfit change has happened. Okay. There's no timeline again, but we can discern that there is no weapon that is in his pant leg because we can see him bending one leg in one photo and we can see him bending the other leg in another photo. So we're unclear about this. What is clear is that there is a ton of cameras on this campus. there is a lot of footage that they could release to make the public feel better about this. I mean, tons of different angles. I don't know why we're getting grainy shots at all. There have been tons of people online going through the tech stack of UVU campus and saying like, hey, why are we getting grainy? Why don't you give us clear images? In fact, you guys could show us an image here, 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 here. They're not doing that. They're just going with this like grainy image and saying that's it. And you can get this grainy image, but we can't tell you much more. Now, again, it's an open investigation. They're under a lot of pressure. There is no question. I'm certainly not going to let this go. And I want the public to not let this go, because you were spiritually impacted by watching a man be publicly executed. And you need to keep that energy and understand that something is very wrong here. Nothing they are saying feels good to me. Honestly, the thing that they said that felt the best to me is when they said that there's probably somebody else involved. That sounds about right. 2 people, maybe these aren't even the same people. Maybe the guy in the maroon is not the same as the guy in the black shirt. That would make sense, because why change your outfit? Both of these look like you would blend in on a college campus. So why are you blending in twice? Does that make any sense to you? Why would you change your outfit? It's like a random fashion show while you're going to murder someone. I just want to change my outfit for funsies. And then we hear
a government operation.
that Tyler Robinson, when he's apprehended, it is communicated to us that he is wearing the maroon outfit. Now, I want to be clear. They said this was 33 hours later. So he changed his outfit, I mean, ostensibly because he wants to avoid detection would be the only thing that's, I think, is reasonable to assume. But then he changes back into the outfit that he was wearing before the shooting. For what reason? 33 hours later, like no shower time. He's wanted them to know that it was him on the camera. That's not clear to me. Why are we changing outfits? Are we just 2 different people? I think it's reasonable to ask that question. Are there 2 different people that are involved? Another thing that's not clear to me is that the story that we were told was that Tyler Robinson allegedly, after speaking with a pastor, his dad turned him in. Bill Ackman, probably $1 million, right? Thanks, Bill. He really cared about Charlie. And that money is now going to the father of this child, who after prayer and speaking to a pastor, they're saying, okay, well, we, then, he turned himself in. That we were told he turned himself in. Now we're being told that actually he hasn't confessed. So I'm just wondering, how do you turn yourself in without confessing? Because if I say my kid did it, that's enough for an arrest? What if the kid says he didn't do it? I didn't do it. Dad says you did. Okay, how did they arrest him without a confession? I'm going to show you Governor Cox's statement where he says that the kid has not confessed. Take a listen.
I know you heard that report by Matt Gutman and this latest reporting in the New York Times that some of the suspect's acquaintances were allegedly talking to him online and joking and thought they recognized him from those early photos. Can you tell us anything about that this morning or anything further on the investigation?
Well, all we can confirm is that those conversations definitely were happening, and they did not believe it was actually him. It was all joking until he admitted that it actually was him.
And anything new on the investigation? You say he admitted that, confessed?
No, not again. He has not confessed to authorities. He is not cooperating. But all the people around him are cooperating, and I think that's.
He's not cooperating because he know he ain't the one that did it, and he's probably in fear to even say anything. He's not cooperating because he's not the one. He's not the shooter, man. Being as though we seen him run off the roof without a gun, and it mysteriously ended up in the woods, shows us right there that he wasn't the shooter. Sorry.
Something tells me a foreign intelligence agency came in here and took him out, and then our government is helping them cover it up.
Facts.
Like Mossad and FBI. Mossad did the shooting, and FBI covering it up.
Yep.
That's what it seems like to me.
That's what it feels like. Yep.
That's very important. There were reports yesterday that we can confirm that his roommate was indeed a boyfriend who is transitioning from male to female.
Hold on.
That's information that
let me pause it there. That's another thing they're trying to push, a narrative that the killer, supposedly would-be killer, was living with a transsexual. So you got a trans. So you got to realize what they're trying to do. They're setting the stage. They're basically making it look like Charlie Kirk was speaking out against, transsexuals or whatever, and the supposed killer, was living and dating a transsexual, right? So that's the setup right there. That's why I know it's a lie. It has to be a lie, because for the simple fact that they basically lined him up to say all that shit. So when it's time to make a play, now they got the people thinking Charlie Kirk was taken out because of all this rhetoric, and he wasn't taken out by the Mossad and helping and our government helping to cover it up and all that. So now everybody thinking, oh, he was taken out because he was speaking out against the trans and all that. Nah, that's why I know. That's why I know they lying. I know they lying about that.
You see how they try to throw that propaganda piece in there,
Right.
trying to bring up the word trans, because they know that's going to trigger people to talk, to switch they mindset on that, rather than the hit that took place that the Mossad did and the FBI covered up.
Now peep this kid that's supposed to be a neighbor saying he spotted Charlie Kirk. I mean Tyler Robinson, the supposed killer of Charlie Kirk, kissing a transsexual. See, they bring in now. Listen, let me just play this real quick. Let me know if y'all can hear.
Who's walking with him?
Were they holding hands?
Yeah, they were. So,
we know this. You know, this is a paid for. Let me. Damn, I don't know what the hell happened. Let me play this again, y'all. Let me know if y'all can hear it too.
Yeah, he was walking with him.
Were they holding hands?
Yeah, they were.
Let me know if the sound good.
So, yeah, they drove off in his car, the Dodge Challenger.
The time you saw them, or this week?
It was about the time I saw them. So,
Okay, how long ago was that?
I would say about 2 weeks ago.
And so they looked like they were a couple?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was dressed all in black?
Yeah, definitely.
And you thought he was weird?
Yeah, I definitely, yeah.
What was weird about him?
Just the way he walked and just the way I've seen him. I've never seen really anybody dressed all in black with a mask on, and I thought that was just quite weird.
For those who've never seen the roommate, describe that person for us.
He did have freckles on his face. For the haircut, he did have, it was a weird haircut. It was kind of a mushroom shaped one. Yeah, he was, I would say, he didn't come out much, but definitely a few other, like just a little bit at a time.
There's some published reports out there that this individual, the roommate, may have been transitioning. Did that correlate with what you saw?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so he was going to have an operation to be to turn into a woman.
Yeah, and I think he's getting ready for that.
Sorry, in what way do you think that?
I remember them talking about a doctor's appointment. It was about 2 weeks ago, I would say.
And they were kissing?
Yeah.
Do you know where did you see them kissing?
Just coming out. I was riding with my bike, so I didn't see the whole thing, but yeah, I saw them.
And when did you hear them talking about a doctor's appointment?
I would say about the same time I came out.
Young boy, you lying like that.
Yeah.
Where were you standing for that?
I was just riding by here.
Okay.
So
And you were able to hear snippets of their conversation?
yeah. Yep.
Are you sure that they were a couple, but you have only seen them together once?
Yeah. I mean, random guys.
Hey, you don't know if there's a damn couple because you see them together one time. Shut up, young boy. You out here lying.
They
young
wouldn't
boy.
let him on the media unless he was on there to lie.
Right.
You know, the media is in on it too, man. It's like every time they do these types of psyops, all the people that they question, that they put on the news, is a part of the psyop.
Yeah,
all
man.
of that grainy ass footage out there, part of the psyop.
Right.
Them mentioning transgenders and all this type shit, trigger words, that's part of the psyop.
Yeah, trigger words. Right.
Yeah, it's
Key
all
words.
psyop. Yeah.
Let me know if the sound's still good.
Nah, you can't hear nothing.
Can't hear it? All right, let me reshare it, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all double tap that screen while y'all you know, while we going over this Candace Owens exposing this shit.
Cooperating with authorities as well.
Okay, so I'm just not entirely clear on this confession element. Did the pastor just say he did it? Did the father say he did it, but they didn't have any proof? Again, this is obviously everyone's investigating. We yield to them. Do I think
where's
they
the
was
father
involved
and
somehow?
the
Yeah.
parents at? Why they
Do
not
I think he did
speaking
this
out?
alone? Absolutely not. The story makes entirely no sense. And then there's this random Discord over Discord. Okay, so Governor Cox came out and told us that there were messages about the rifle drop point. Okay, Discord says not the same thing. Let's listen to Governor Cox say that on this social media app, Discord, they were discussing the rifle drop point. Take a listen.
Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits.
Okay. So he changed outfits. Again, unclear why he did that. Unclear why he would then put the outfit back on 33 hours later. Most people just like shower within that time. I did receive contact from one of Tyler Robinson's classmates, and they said that that was the strangest part to them. They told me that that was the strangest part, the 33-hour putting on an outfit that he had on 33 hours early, because they described him as remarkably tidy. He was a tidy individual. So they that flagged them as weird. Just seems like a little extra work. Again, unnecessary, right? Completely unnecessary. You're getting nothing out of changing your outfits. We have a statement from Discord, which kind of disputes that. Discord says, in the course of our investigation, we identified a Discord account associated with the suspect, but have found no evidence that the suspect planned this incident or promoted violence on Discord, a spokesperson said in the statement.
So why are they lying and saying that he left a message in Discord? Y'all remember, I just pulled it up on TMZ. The article read, Charlie Kirk's murder accused killer online confession. It was me. That he made the statement in Discord. Hey, you guys, I have bad news for y'all. It was me at the UEView yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this. But Discord said he didn't use their platform. Yo, it's all distractions and lies. Distractions and lies, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we dealing with here. A bunch of zigzags to keep us focused on this shit while they steal all the wealth out the country, while they continue to poison our food, water, air supply, while we get sick and die, so they could depopulate most of the planet, take it over, have artificial intelligence running it all, and that's what the name of the game is. They want to keep us deceived with all these distractions and lies. When the real problem is the broader issues that we just said is the real war against humanity. Let's continue. Let me know if we good on sound.
Maybe they need more time, and they're going to get more time. They're going to get a lot of time, because it will be never that I let this go. It will be absolutely never that I let this go. Everything just spiritually feels very wrong here. Yeah. It feels like we are being lied to by who? I'm not sure. Are there some good guys? Of course, there's always good guys in government, but there are too many bad guys in government for me to feel good about this. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are obviously going to continue to follow this, to tighten up this timeline with the most up-to-date information that we can possibly have, everything that we could possibly learn about the father that is involved in this. I want to know more about the father. He's being described as a hero. He turned his son in.
Yeah, where's the
dad?
at?
I don't trust anything right now.
Yeah,
I trust absolutely nothing. I think everyone needs to be investigated. Every person that is even mentioned should be investigated. We have a right to do that, and we're going to continue to do that. All right, guys, before I get into some of your comments, I want to remind you guys about Pure Talk, because when was the last time that you bragged about your wireless company? Did you know, have you ever said to anybody, did you know that my wireless company gave 1,000 American flags to deserving vets, forgave $10 million in veteran debt, and my wireless company also raised almost $500,000 to prevent veteran suicide? In other words, when your wireless company is actually Pure Talk, relying on credit cards to cover these, we are called to do more than just grieve. We are also called to act, to strengthen our resolve, and to carry forward the values that she let me know. She is Charlie's wife, Erica. She made me feel welcome when I was alone. God be with the Kirks if they're
so. Yeah, that's basically Candace Owens breaking down like some things that she I guess with observed herself in situations where Kirk was actually texting her about a meeting that he had with some billionaires in the Hamptons, basically pressuring him to stop talking about Israel and Mossad and all of those things for that nature. But we definitely know he was dude was taken out for specific reason. You know what I mean? Man, if y'all have please check out our website. Make sure y'all go head over to our website, 90 Day Herbals. We sponsor our own videos with our own products as well. So make sure y'all head over and check out our natural herbal product website where we sell CBD in the form of cigarettes, in the form of vapes, pre-rolls. We also have CMOS, edibles. Yeah, I mean, deep things for detox as well and all that. So make sure y'all check out our website. We ship out pretty fast. You know what I mean? We've been in business for like 7 years straight. Just making sure that we doing something that's actually contributing to, combating the poisons and stuff that's being put in our food and all that on a daily basis. So we sell natural herbal products to combat that. Because you're not going, I mean, you're shopping at these major stores and all you're going to get is mass produced chemical products anyway. So somebody got to be a voice and a reason and start producing products. And I believe that we're starting to get back more into that. People producing natural products, selling natural products, because everybody's being poisoned right now. Cancer rate is up. All these different diseases is happening, going on. So somebody got to start resisting all that. So make sure y'all check out our website, man. We got everything on there you need for your skin, for detoxing yourself. You know what I mean? And if you need things of that nature for pain, relaxation, and things of that nature, our website is definitely where you need to be checking out. We have detox drinks on here. We have sea moss in the form of tea and fruit infused sea mosses as well. Hair and skincare products as well. So make sure y'all check us out. CBD cigarettes, 9dayherbals.com. We ship out pretty fast. You know what I mean? And our customer service is great. If you ever have a problem with, any type of order or anything, we make sure that all that stuff is handled. So check us out, 9dayherbals.com. We got stuff on here for hair growth, stuff like natural, rose waters for the skin and hair, lotion infused CBD and CBD soaps. We also have natural herbal soaps for natural body oils and everything. So check us out. This is 9dayherbals.com. Yeah, man. And we're gonna catch y'all on the next one, man. We're gonna catch y'all on the next one. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all subscribe to this channel. Make sure y'all like this video, share it out, share this broadcast out as well. And we will continue to knock y'all upside the head with the truth on this channel.
Facts.
So we appreciate y'all tuning in, man, and we're gonna get up out of here.
Peace.
Much love.
If you crave nature but still shop online, Night and Day Herbals is your dream come true. Discover premium herbal soaps, shampoos, and CBD products. All organic, all for you. Shop now at nightandayherbals.com.